to my cluttered garage. I'm really glad you're here. A place where we can laugh and talk and days are filled with cheer. The clouds and sun may come and go, but one thing's always clear. Welcome back, my friend. You know I'm really glad you're here. Yeah.
Well, welcome back, my friends. I am really glad you're here. Welcome to Livestream number 186. It's February 17th, 2025. And forgive me if I'm a little rusty because we have not gone live here for several weeks. But we're going to go live with a good show tonight. And I do appreciate you being here. We're going to jump right into things shortly. We're going to be talking about the 2025 National Farm Machinery Show, which was just held in Louisville, Kentucky. I've got some friends backstage. They're going to be joining me, and we're going to just talk about what we saw at the show, answering questions. If you have any questions, you can post them in the live chat. We will try and pull them out and talk and answer them as we can. As I often say, as I always say, if you have a question, post it in the live chat like this with the word question followed by your question, and we'll try and call those up as we can. A little bit later on, I'll be doing a sticker giveaway. So be prepared for that. You'll be entering the information we need into the live chat for that. Other than that, we're just going to free roll tonight and chat with some friends. And before I bring them on here, I do want to say to all of you, thank you. Thank you for your support, for your prayers, for your thoughts, for your messages. My family, my wife and I appreciate that very much. So thank you. Let's move on now. So we're going to bring our friends in now. Backstage, I've got Evan from Countryview Acres, CJ from Mallard 5+1 Farmhouse, Tim from Tractor Time with Tim, Lucas from Peaks Peak Hobby Homestead, and who knows who else might be jumping on to join us. But let's bring these fine gentlemen in right now. We'll start with Evan. Evan, how you doing, man?
Hey, Ed, doing good. I'm
Great.
rested. I'm rested back up after the trip. How about you?
You know what? Sunday was definitely a down day for me. I was beat after that trip. It was really beat.
Too.
So it was good to recover from that. Let me bring in CJ from Mallard 5+5. Oh, there's CJ. We're gonna fit everybody on the screen here in just a moment. We'll jump. We'll get Tim jumped on here, and then Lucas from Peaks Peak. Here we go. We all fit on the screen. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good.
Great to see you, Ed.
Great to see you, Tim. And again, Tim, I'm so sorry that we saw you briefly at the show. It's such a madhouse there, and I never really got to sit with you or stand with you and chat with you. But I was glad to catch up with you and see you. But
yeah,
I want to spend more time with you, man.
The only time I got to see you was when I photobombed your video.
Yes, you did.
Yep.
He somehow wandered into the Kubota booth, and he must have been lost. But it was a good time for sure. So I want to thank all of you for joining me tonight. It means a lot to have you here, and it was great to see everybody at that show. It's my first time at the Farm Machinery Show. Of course, I saw most of you. I don't think you were, CJ. I don't think you were at the Equip Expo, were you?
No.
But everybody else was there. So, but the Farm Machinery Show is my first one there. Was it a first for anybody else here?
Nope.
No.
Everybody was here before. Even Lucas, you were at the Farm Machinery Show before?
Yeah. So, well, I've actually been going to the Farm Machinery Show since I was a teenager. I used to go with my dad back when I lived in Indiana. So,
little did you know you'd be back one day with a camcorder in hand.
right.
So, let me start here on the bottom. Tim, so you were busy running around. Like I said, we didn't have much time to talk, but what do you think your takeaway of the show was? Was it different than years past? Was there anything new and exciting that you came across?
Yeah, like Lucas, I have been going there since I was a kid. I've probably been to 35 farm shows, and there oftentimes aren't many changes. All the vendors are in the same locations. It just doesn't seem to be many changes. But I felt like over the last year or two, we've seen a lot of changes. And this year, what I noticed more than anything else was several new compact tractor models. I think the last 2 or 3 years, it's just been a dearth of. I mean, it's just so slow. There's nothing, right, and no new compact tractor models to speak of. And this year, I thought we saw several.
Any in particular that stood out for you? I know that TYM had a couple big reveals, and when I spoke to the Kubota spokesperson, they had a new utility tractor that came out. But anything that you saw that you'd like to share?
Well, starting with the Kubota, I really didn't. I wasn't that excited about the MX-99 or 4900. I felt like it was pretty much the same thing, only less horsepower. The TYM models, I think those cabs were going to be really nice addition on that 3025. That tractor is quite unique, and it has got so much capability at 25 horsepower, and I think maybe an ability to extend that horsepower up to maybe even 40 or so with some tricks that we could do behind the scenes. That's exciting. My favorite tractor, my favorite new introduction, was the Coyote subcompact tractor. I believe it's CS 2530 with air conditioned cab. It's the first subcompact tractor that we've seen with an air conditioned cab. So that one's the highlight for me.
Very cool. Yeah, I spent a little time at the Coyote booth, and I didn't get a clear answer. I was trying to figure out how they set their models up, because they have the NS, the CK, and I really couldn't figure it out. And actually, the person I spoke with, no offense to Coyote, but they really didn't know how to explain that too well either.
I think you just have to learn it. I did. I worked with them on their dealer meeting back in 2020, and so I got familiar with their models back then. They had a virtual dealers meeting because folks couldn't show up to the actual meeting, and they invited us down to try to verbalize the experience of using some of the new models at the time. So yeah, it's CS, CX, CK, DK, NS, NX, RX, and HX in that order.
Wow,
There's a big.
Really impressive. And we won't go too far off this, but why is that? Like,
I don't know.
Oh, they just don't know. They just are.
There's all different size frames for the different
Yes.
letters?
Every one of those is a different size frame. I would say the CS is the subcompact. The CX is the 25 horsepower, slightly larger than subcompact, right? The CK then is more features and just a little bit larger, sort of like a Deere 3 Series, maybe a little lighter than that. Incredible turning radius. The DK is like a 4 Series or Grand L Series Kubota, and then you get up to the NS and NX, which are really kind of larger in a lot of ways than a 4 Series or Grand L. And then you get to big stuff that our guys don't care about. I don't know if that makes any sense, Evan, but that's kind of how they're done. And
Yep.
I really don't. It makes no sense to me that the actual 2 letters that they use. I just had to memorize them.
It's probably like a foreign language. Like, once you learn it, you just speak it and you just understand it. That's all there is to it there. Lucas, man, what do you think? You've been coming for years and years. What'd you see this year that was exciting for you?
Well, I'll say first, I actually took an entirely different approach. I only had a partial day, and I had a video idea that I wanted to create. And so that's what I spent most of my time on. So I didn't learn a lot about new things. I talked to every creator that I knew and a couple of viewers of the channel about what tractor they own, what they like about it, what they don't like about it, and would they buy it again. And so I spent most of my time there just looking for people and doing those interviews. Tim mentioned to me that Coyote subcompact with a cab, so I did go over there and check that out. I was impressed by that. I checked out that new TYM, the 4058. Now, is that, Evan, I'm sure you can answer this, is that basically the 5835 with upgrades?
I am not as familiar with the Branson model lineup. So I hate to actually answer that, but I thought that the cab model of that looked pretty good.
That's the impression it gave me. Impressive tractor, but it's also larger than what most of us are using, category 2 and all that. So I didn't spend a whole lot of time on that. And then one other thing and I don't know that this will interest a lot of your viewers, but I ran into a guy who fixes leaking ponds, which was like the highlight of my show, because I have a pond that we built 4 years ago and it leaks. And he actually recognized me from my videos talking about my leaking pond. And so I got to talk to him. His company is whatsbelow.com. And I'm hoping to maybe work something out where I can get him here to fix my pond. So that was kind of the highlight of my show.
Yep.
Very nice. And I have to say, I've enjoyed watching your coverage, all of you, of the show. CJ, I watched your video and I made a comment on your channel that I realized all the things I missed by watching your video, or some of the things that I missed. You came across things that I didn't even see it there. And it looks so interesting watching it on your video. So thank you for sharing that. You went to some of the smaller booths, I think, and really did some nice in-depth coverage of some of those products. We tend to be focused on the big machines and whatnot, but I really appreciated your coverage on that. Was there anything that really stood out for you?
Oh, and instead of just walking around all day and being sore in the knees and in the back, I was trying to focus on things that we could actually use here on the farm or could interest the viewers. And the one that stood out the most to me was the clean burn waste oil furnace. Yeah, because my dad and I have looked at those for a long time, and we had plenty of oil to get rid of, and he said that thing could burn transmission fluid, diesel, pretty much everything. So I want to look more into that, but that was probably the highlight.
And they claim it's clean burning. Very
Yeah.
clean burning.
Yep.
Will that do gear oil as well? Like your heavy stuff?
I think he said it does everything.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably could mix it with lighter oils anyway and get the viscosity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that was very interesting. And you talked about prices on there too, which I didn't think were outrageous.
It all depended on how you're going to get it out of your shop or whatever, like what kind of chimney you need or whatever. That's where your cost is going to be.
Yeah, for sure. Well, for those of you who might be joining us, we're talking about the National Farm Machinery Show 2025. We were all there. Some of you might be watching from Tim's channel or Evan's channel. CJ, and Lucas, I don't know if you were able to share it from your channels, but you might be watching from a different channel here tonight. So we want to welcome you to tonight's show. Evan, I watched your video, and I think you spent the entire first day not moving, right?
Yeah, I filmed all the way up till I got to the booth, and I never filmed another thing because I just ended up just chatting all day long. So it was a great time. Got to meet a ton of people. I actually met a few more YouTubers I hadn't ever met before. I got to meet Dirt Perfect. Never met him before. I got to meet some of the smaller channels and stuff that I never met in person. So it was a good time.
That's great. Yeah, I enjoyed that too. Again, meeting it's Mike from Dirt Perfect, and Adam had brought a friend or came with a friend, Kyle from Spicer Designs.
Yeah, actually, he just lived like an hour and a half from me. Me and him have chatted many times. He's like probably the closest YouTuber to me is Kyle from Spicer.
Okay, I hadn't met him before, or wasn't really familiar with his channel, so I've been following some of his content. He's really good. He's very entertaining and also really skilled.
He's a little bit of a cut up.
Yeah. Yeah, I invited him here tonight too, but he wasn't available as well. So, but you're right. It's amazing to always meet new people and more people. Was there any piece of equipment that you were looking for, or anything that stood out for you?
I was just kind of paying attention to seeders and hay rakes and stuff that I was looking for, and I was trying to look for more small farm stuff, and that's really what I think. Like the National Farm Machinery Show is like a big farm show, right? It's a lot of big equipment, a lot of stuff that I'd like to see, like the small farm show. That's what I would like to see, something that's more sized for people with like 100 acres and less.
That's the West Wing.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
the West Wing.
I heard several of the video feedback, from people saying, "Oh, it's just for big farmers." Maybe it was Ed. Maybe you were saying that in your video. I'm not sure.
I did mention that.
But you just have to be careful. I mean, it's easy to get distracted by seeing the huge tractors and the huge combines. But if you take your time going through there, all the little stuff is there. Now, a few years ago, all of the small tractor brands were there. Several of them have stopped showing at this point, but I mean, there's a lot of that small equipment still there. I mean, I don't know if you saw the Tar River booth, Evan, over.
Yeah, I ended up filming that. Yeah, you had to get over to the West Wing to get some of that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and some of it's just mixed in. You know, you kind of have. It's so easy to see the big stuff and just get distracted with it, but the little stuff is there. I have wished for years we could have a compact tractor show, but I don't think that's probably. I don't think it'll probably ever happen. I think these two shows, this one and the Equip Expo, are the closest, and they both come to it from different angles, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're right, Tim. Like I said, when I saw CJ's video, I realized, oh, there are smaller things here that I completely missed. So next time, I may stay for longer than 2 days, and I may take my time and really get around and look at some of those things. But you're right, that was there.
We have so much fun talking with each other that we end up not seeing as much of the show, and that's probably you guys think I'm probably kind of not very friendly because I'm off to other places trying to. Even though I'm there for 4 days, it's still hard to cover the whole thing in any detail.
It really is. But
and you're right about like the small booth thing, because there's so many little aisles with like little booths that are only like what 8-10 feet wide, little booths, and it's easy to not even go down so many of those aisles and miss that stuff.
Yeah, and I spoke with Kelly and Scott from Chain Locker. They were a guest on the live stream, and they had a great location this year, and they were busy. And that's a small company, so I was really happy to see them doing so well there. There's a question here from Equally Yoked Farm. Did anybody notice the black Massey Ferguson? I did not. Did you guys see that?
Nope.
Yeah, it was attached to the baler. Again, it was much larger than most of our viewers would go for. I'm assuming 180 horsepower. I don't know, or maybe.
Oh wow, okay.
But it was attached to that double wide baler. Now, did anyone see the double wide baler?
Nope.
There were at least 2, maybe 3 of those on the show floor, and they baled 2 bales side by side at the same time. Now, obviously, our little tractors are not going to be able to power them, but I got to see the press conference or whatever where Massey was talking about theirs, and they adjust it's high tech enough that each side of that is baled independently. It's not like they close the bale. So if one side of the windrow is heavier than the other side, it will, it will not tie a bale until it gets up to the desired weight, desired size. So 2 bales, 2 wide at the same time. It's basically 2 balers together. Jammed together side by side. It's fascinating.
Interesting. And there was a Tomcat pulling tractor there. Linda's asking if we saw that at the New Holland booth.
I think I did see that.
Yeah, I saw that.
It pulled on Thursday night, so it was on Friday morning when it came in. It had still dirt on the tires. They didn't clean all the dirt off the tires. It was all shiny on Thursday, and then on Friday it was dirty.
Did any of you attend the poll?
Tractor
poll?
No.
Nobody did. Okay.
Who had the energy after being there all day?
Was too hungry.
That's true. It is definitely a long day. And if any of you guys see any comments that we want to pull out and answer, please shout it out, and we'll pull those out here. I'm just taking a quick look through here. You guys are actually answering comments in the comments, multitasking. That's really impressive. Yeah. So I'm looking through. While I'm reading this, you guys cover me. Say something while I'm reading through.
I know this was my 4th year. So I got on the website and I went down through the whole list of who all was going to be there. And I circled them, and then I found them on the map. And then that way I had a game plan for when I went in there instead of just walking aimlessly. And that's how I found those little ones that you was talking about, Ed.
That sounds like something. That sounds like how you should do it, CJ.
It took me 4 years to figure that out.
Yeah. Did you do the segment with the Pat's Easy Change, or was that somebody else who did that?
That wasn't me. I didn't know they were there.
I think Brock did that.
Yeah, I didn't know they were there either, and I would have liked to talk to them because I have a set of those.
They were under Green Tech. Green Tech.
Yeah.
Something.
Oh,
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I don't totally missed that. I see Phil from Peterson Farm of Nashville is here. He missed you at the show, CJ. So
yeah. I can't stay still very long. I'm going to have to make a set time next time because I missed some other subscribers too.
Yeah.
Make a set time.
You were hanging out at the LS booth for a good time there. So
yeah.
People should
must
know
have wandered off.
So, got an Australia mate here tonight. That's exciting to see. And
here's a question about the Farm Science Review from the Rural World, or a comment about it. And it's saying, how does the farm show compare to that? See, have you seen that one, Ed? I can address that.
Can you pull it up? Will it let you pull it up?
No.
I went to that last fall.
Okay, so maybe CJ and I both can talk to it. It's from the Rural World at 7:21 p.m. So this show, of course, is all indoors. That's one big difference. But the Farm Science Review is more dealer oriented and less manufacturer oriented, I would say. And this one is probably at least fivefold, maybe tenfold the size of the Farm Science Review.
Yeah,
that would be my take. So the Farm Science Review, I didn't find it to be very much geared toward us at all. It was almost all big ag. So I think Woods was there, Coyote was there. So there was a few, but most of it was big ag. So I enjoyed that show. I went only one time, but CJ?
I agree with you. I went this past fall. It was neat, and they show different cornfields and how they're growing, and like Tim said, it's big ag. I went once. That's probably going to be the last time. This show's better. The farm show in Kentucky. I think it's better.
Better for us, yeah.
Yeah, for us, yeah, especially.
Next one I see is, are any of you guys coming to Rantoul, Illinois? Has anyone heard of the Rantoul, Illinois Half Century of Progress show?
I've been.
No.
Yeah, I went last year. I may go again this year.
Yeah, it's every other year. And I think this is the year, right? So it'll be this summer, because I think it's the farm progress shows in Illinois.
Yeah, maybe it was the year before I went. Yeah.
So it's antique tractors, and it's you would call it big ag style tractors, but I mean they'll have the tractor behind you, CJ, something like that, right? You could even take that if you, and you can plow and disc, and you can bring your own equipment. It's at the old Chanute Air Force Base in Rantoul, Illinois, and the best fun of it is that you can bring your own ATV or UTV, and there will be thousands of these UTVs riding around, and there's no rules other than only go 5 miles an hour, and it's
chaos. It's chaos on that runway.
And yet people stay safe somehow because they're making farmer types, right? So it is just a huge amount of fun. I've had as much fun at that as probably most any other show I've gone to. If you can find a buddy to ride in your UTV with you, just have a great day.
Do you bring your own?
And if you do go and you don't have one, they rent them.
Wow.
And you want to get a reservation and get one rented beforehand, because they rent out real quick. But it's a runway. It's an Air Force runway. So it's several acres. And then all the fields around the runway, they plant in corn and stuff. And they do all these field demonstrations, right, where they harvest the corn with old corn pickers, and then they take them back and they do all the shelling and stuff of the corn. They run all this old equipment. It's really neat show, but it is huge. You definitely need some type of vehicle to ride around.
Here's a question from Mike. If anybody has heard about the Alice Chambers name coming back.
No. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
That would be interesting.
It would. sounds like a no from us here. That we haven't seen that. And then specifically for Lucas and CJ, I think we could all answer this question though, but for the two of you, do you find that making videos slows your work down? I think we all know the answer to that.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I'd say it makes it 3 times as long, wouldn't you guys?
Yeah. I spent 4 hours milling a log into a beam this afternoon because I was filming.
And I was cutting firewood and didn't get very much done because I was filming this afternoon.
So Lucas, that would have been maybe 1 hour.
Yeah. I mean, if you really wanted to go up there and bust it out easy, you could do what I did in an hour.
But 4 hours later, he's got camera angles and talking and all that good stuff.
Somebody said they're going to the National Firewood Expo in May. Where's that at? You guys been there? CJ? No.
Never heard of that one.
I'm not sure.
What's the big one that folks go to? The
Paul Bunyan.
Paul Bunyan.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of there. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then there's the Woodsman Expo up in New York. That's another big one, I think. I think that's what it's called. I never heard of the national.
So somebody said Cortland, Ohio. That's probably close.
Oh, is that the that might be the
Woodburners.
one? Yeah, Ohio Woodburn. Yep. That just started last year, I think.
Evan, someone's surprised that we're talking with each other. Have we got some sort of a riff or something?
I don't know. Me and Tim have talked several times. Is it because we're different tractor brands? Is that what the deal
I don't know.
is?
Countryview Acres is talking with Tractor Time with Tim. That's so cool.
Tim actually doesn't live too far from me. I'd say you're maybe 2 hours away from me.
2 hours, yeah. I'm working real hard to get you over here this summer to help me install some solar on my roof.
Yeah. So yeah, we've been discussing solar quite a bit over the last couple months.
We are actually getting solar, and I should have talked to you guys because we're just paying a local company that does it. But that'll be going in this week.
Could have been a great DIY project, Ed.
I know it could have been.
Collaboration.
It just seemed overwhelming with all the permits and the electric company has to approve it. And my neighbor, actually my nephew, applied for. Oh, there's that weird background. My nephew applied for solar, and he lives a mile away. He applied almost the same time I did. I got approved, and he got denied because they shut the grid down. Apparently, they only allow so many houses to have solar, and he suddenly became in a blackout area. So it just seemed like a lot of things. I didn't feel like I could do any of that myself.
Are you on a cooperative, or are you big company, big electric company? Like a rural electric cooperative or a big company?
No, it's a big electric company.
It's a big one. Huh.
Yeah.
Right, black you out.
Yeah, apparently they do that. They have a zone and just say no more solar is allowed in this area, and apparently they turn it on and off, but they couldn't get it. So we might have been the last ones in. Or I do know that our power, even though we're less than a mile away from each other, our power comes from one end of the road. Theirs comes from the other end. Like when we lose power, they don't. So it's a different part of the grid, I guess. Anyway, yeah, I would have loved to have just done it myself, but
I'm going to call out some family members. So I see some family members on here, like my niece and my aunt, and they're talking about pink camo tractors. Apparently they think that's a good idea.
Pink camo? That's an oxymoron, isn't it?
I don't know. They have pink camo.
Yeah. Unless you're in a field of flamingos, then that would be good.
Well, you brought your own groupies then, Evan. That's cheating.
That's my family.
I got to admit, I got some family here too. My sister's here and friends. So, but they're here all the time. They're good supporters. So I'm looking for any other questions or comments here. They're going by kind of quickly though, so it's tough to.
If you could take home one piece of equipment from the show, no matter what the price, what would it be and why? That's a good question.
It is a good question.
Ed,
It is a good question.
What would you say?
It would be a new shiny tractor bigger than what I have. That's what it would be.
Mm-hmm.
Probably with a backhoe,
Which one?
maybe a cab. You know what? I don't have a preference. I really don't. I think the little bit of research I've done, I'm impressed with what I'm seeing from LS, from TYM with their lift capacities. They far surpass what I've seen with Kubota. You know, similarly sized tractor to what I have, they really surpass that lift capacity, which is really impressive. I don't know how Coyote compares with Kubota as far as lift capacity, but those, you know, or John Deere for that matter. I feel like John Deere and Kubota are pretty close with lift capacities. And I know, Tim, you did some really in-depth research and tests with that years ago. Am I right that they're pretty similar? Those two brands?
You know, model by model, the way Deere and Kubota, they don't compare. They intentionally don't compare, right? They try to offset each other a little bit in their models, so that if you go to the Kubota dealer, they want to compare with the next lower model Deere, and if you go to the Deere dealer, they want to compare with the next lower model Kubota, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that they're not really head to head. But yeah, I would say in general, Deere has a little bit maybe higher loader lift capacity than Kubota. Because Kubota's loader sticks out further, which is interesting. It's further from the front of the tractor. But on the 3-point hitch, Deere is almost always lagging behind on 3-point hitch lift capacity. It's pretty weak, really.
That's interesting. So there's a question here for me. Am I near an LS dealer? There used to be an LS dealer like 2 miles from my house. And then it was a Kubota dealer that also started carrying LS brand. And then they sold the dealership to Huber, and Huber's not an LS dealer, so they dropped the LS line. But I did have a dealer 2 miles away, and I was actually looking at some of those. It was a couple of years ago, and then, like I said, then they went away. But anybody else, like what would well, Tim, since you called me out, what would you walk away with?
That's actually a tough question for me. I'm not sure.
I mean, you could say I'd take the big combine and sell it. Yeah, that would.
No, that's true, right? I mean, it's not about money, right? I mean, what would I really want the most out of the farm show? And I don't really know. I'm totally fascinated by these mean brush mulchers and that brush equipment. Maybe it's something like that. There was this bug knot brush thing, mulcher thing. That's the toughest piece of brush eating equipment I've ever seen. It was in the South Hall. There's no our little tractors couldn't handle it, right? It would have to be a 200 horsepower tractor, but that thing just looked really mean. So I'm fascinated by the brush removal stuff, but it's not like I really necessarily need that big of.
The price tag on those things are I mean, I know that Rut Manufacturing, they actually had price like right on top of them. And I mean, you're talking like a big mulcher for a skid steer. That's like 20 grand or something. And then that may be a good price. I don't know. I mean, it's
I was going to say 20 grand's cheap for a skid steer mulcher.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's nothing the homeowner's really going to be able to afford, you know, it's all just for business. If I was going to get something, it would probably be, there was some CAT and JCB equipment and stuff like that. So there was some mini excavators there. I'd like to have like a mini excavator. Got the tractors. I'd like to have an excavator.
My finance committee told me I couldn't get anything in the comments section here. So.
Christy's listening.
That was the same answer I was going to go with. A mini excavator or a track loader I would love to have. And actually that JCB, that's kind of the combo of all of those things, I think is really cool. I'd love to try one.
Yeah, okay.
Is that the Tele? Is that like the Tele skid? Like,
it's the one
so it has like a backhoe on the back, but it's like a skid steer with a backhoe on the back. Now it may be kind of like, you know, I've talked about the tractor loader backhoes doing everything okay, but not doing anything great. Maybe kind of the same thing with that. I don't know, but I'd like to find out.
Yeah, I would like a mini excavator. I forgot about that when you asked that question. I would definitely like that. So you started thinking about it, and it's like, I guess there are a lot of things I'd like, right?
Yeah. CJ?
That MT473 I was drooling over in the LS boost. It would just it would work out better for me at the farm than my 40 horse I got now.
How big is it? Is it a 74 horse or 73?
73, yeah. Yep.
What transmission does it have?
That'd be a power shuttle.
Okay.
Nice. I see a question here. I don't know specifically, but if there's a piece of equipment or technology at the show that is perhaps being overlooked, could be a game changer. Did you see anything new that you thought this could become something? This could be the next best thing. I can't say.
I hate to really. Well, so I was talking with ITC Quick Attach, Jake from ITC Quick Attach, and I think he's either in the progress. I think he actually has some, but he has he makes the brush guards for the front.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that he's making brush guards for like the underside of a tractor so that you can go through the woods and not like hit sticks. Cause I was clearing some trees and I had a stick jam up underneath and like pulled the hydraulic line apart.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that he's like looking into that. I think he actually has some. I think it's a great idea.
That's actually a big concern of mine. I've been using that Bommalite mulcher, and man, the way it throws some of those trees straight underneath the tractor, and they'll come shooting out the front 30 or 40 yards. I just know it's a matter of time before I tear something loose.
You're exactly right. Do you have the chains for the front of it?
I do, and they help as long as you keep the thing on the ground. But they don't stop it.
No.
I find myself I use my hydraulic top link and I tilt it to try to get a better bite or a better angle. But what happens is you end up lifting it off the ground a little bit and stuff shoots through faster. So there's a learning curve to using it.
It does shoot stuff right out the front.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, some sort of a skid plate like you're talking, Evan, would be great.
Yeah, I've seen those like in your guys' videos where it's like you see like this whole tree. It's like 6-inch tree or something. And you see it just like boom, go all the way like
projectile, right, coming out of the front of the tractor. Yeah. I think that's probably what happened to my hydraulic line. It didn't actually break my hydraulic line. What happened was my inner fender bent, and it pushed the hydraulic hose up against my tire. So in time, it just wore through until I ended up with a massive hydraulic leak. But I think it was because that brush underneath of the tractor. I don't know if it was from the mulcher or just, I mean, I've been pushing through the forest, clearing trails and paths for the past year that we've been here. And, so I could have been anything, but
yeah. One thing I would like to say, sorry to jump in, but Lucas mentioned like adjusting that top link on the run. And every time I've tried to use a top link on the run, when you're at like full RPM, like there's so much hydraulic flow, like you really whip that 3-point attachment around. Like I find that like when I adjust the hydraulic link, I about want to just idle down so that I have some control over it. It's like hydraulic top link's really nice, but when you're at full throttle, you can whip something.
It's quick.
It's quick.
Yeah.
Well, Christy says Ventrac anything.
There you go. Hey,
there's the answer.
That's approval, isn't it?
That's it. We all saw it here first. You can get anything Ventrac.
She loves the Ventrac. No question about that.
There you go.
With all the attachments.
That's right. What good is it without all the attachments? You got to get.
They had a new mower deck. I mean, it looked like a mower deck, but they called it a brush deck, and it had a piece in the front. It's spring loaded, so it would push back. You just drive it into a tree, and it would push back, and then the mower blade could come through and cut it. So it was supposed to cut some bigger stuff. They called it kind of a brush cutter or brush mulcher or something. I don't know exactly what their name was, but it looked pretty tough for just a little machine like that.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys have ever had an issue with a tire from that Bommalite, but
not so far.
I guess that could happen.
I've lost hoses. I mean, they just shoot like javelins. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, I know. Like Tony was, I think he was telling Lucas. I think I was listening in one time. I think he was talking about like trying to, instead of hit the trees like right on, to try to just go over them sideways. That way, if they went forward, they would like hit your tire. It's not like lined up with the underneath side of your tractor. That maybe you could just kind of. But then you'd have, you're going to have to move the tractor around quite a bit to mulch it up.
Yeah, a lot of chat here about a motorized wheelbarrow. I didn't see that there, but I guess some folks saw that.
Oh, I did. I saw
Yep.
that. Actually, it looked like you
Oh.
could buy just the tires and the kind of the motor and mount it on yourself. I wish I'd have known wish I'd have stopped and taken a better look, but it looked like you could modify an old wheelbarrow, right? In other words,
A
not
single wheelbarrow.
some of
Yeah, it
them.
was like a normal Home Depot style, I think, wheelbarrow. It wasn't like a Georgia buggy or something.
No, it was.
Yeah, so that might be affordable.
Yeah, it looked like it was meant to be within reach, and it looked like it had one wheel or two wheel ones.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, wasn't that just like a Georgia cart though? But yeah, not if it's a single wheel. I really dislike wheelbarrows, I have to say.
I tore mine up. I mean, I crunched mine up and threw it away after I got my little tractor. That was the whole point.
I haven't used mine for years. So, but I hate wheelbarrows and I hate shovels.
Shovels don't have a chair on them.
That's true. So, but you know, they do the job when you need them to.
So while you're searching the comments, I'm going to ask a question real quick of Evan, because when I was putting my video together, I used a clip of you using a post driver, and I am working towards putting either fencing or guardrail on my new road. But if you watched any of that road build, there's a lot of rock in all of that. So if I wanted to drive, if I wanted to put posts on that hill, what would be my best option? Could you drive wooden posts? If they were sharpened, would they go around rocks, or do you have any experience with that?
I'm going to say you're not going to. I mean, if it's gravel, maybe that's one thing, but if it's like real rocks, you're going to need like a rock.
There's a mixture of big rocks.
Yeah, I think you need a rock drill to be able to drill in there and put something in. Yeah, I think you're going to have some trouble. You can always go shallow.
I do too.
You can get below the frost line. Can you at least get below the frost line before you hit rock? Probably not.
In some places maybe, but no, I'd say there's going to be spots where we hit rock right away. So it may be something I have to hire out.
Yeah.
Or you dig as deep as you can, but make the hole big enough that you can pour concrete around it. You know,
I may try to get creative, but yeah, the thing is, it's so steep. I don't even like working right next to the edge. Yeah,
you need to.
That's why I need a guardrail. Yeah, that's why I need a guardrail.
Just use that foam that Tony uses. He swears by.
That's right.
Oh, the foam. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody was asking about Bobcat tractors. I don't know who makes those, and they were saying they don't hear a lot about them. I don't know much about them, but I would imagine they're made by one of the other companies.
The Coyote.
Is that right? Okay.
They came to the show when they first introduced them about, I don't know, 5 years ago.
I remember seeing them.
And then they came the second year, and I think they may have stopped after that. So I don't, I'm sure that they just ran out of marketing money for that. And, I suspect they're there to fill out their line so that if people are Bobcat fans and have their minis and their skid steers, then they want a tractor they want to buy from the same dealer.
Yeah.
For me, it's a rebrand. If I want that tractor, I'd rather buy a Coyote.
Right.
Yeah,
that's the same with
usually you have to pay a little more to get the rebrand. So
aren't the Bad Boys Coyotes too?
No, Bad Boys are TYMs. Actually, they're
TYMs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are they the older models of TYM with the
2515?
So like
they're the Branson tractors.
other
yeah, like the 4820, the 5520. Those are rebranded as Bad Boys. And again, I think the reason that people will go with a Bad Boy is because of their dealer structure, and they have so many more dealers. If there's not a TYM dealer close to them, they might choose to go with the Bad Boy. But that to me is the only reason why you would do that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you like the design, the colors though too. Like I think the Bobcats look pretty cool with the white, and the Bad Boys look good too with their.
Well, the Bad Boys are good looking tractors. Yeah.
Yeah, they really are. So some people shop by color, right? They like just the color of the machine.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to just look through here again a little bit more. for more questions. You guys are doing a great job, by the way, following up with these questions. And
I tried answering a few, but mine leaves 3 comments every time I put one on here, and I don't know why. So,
well, you're probably replying to YouTube and also to Facebook, so it pops up. On
Yeah, last time I had a live stream, I was doing it 5 times for me. It was pretty
Question from Jeff Jeffers: 2-speed or 3-speed rear end on a tractor, which is better? I would say that 3 is always better than 2.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe not always, but anyway, in the case of transmissions on a tractor, 3 is better. In the brand that I'm most familiar with, there's also just a big difference in the tractors. For instance, the large 2R tractor does not have near as much oomph in the transmission as the 3R tractor. So it's not just 2 versus 3. Sometimes there can be big differences in the pulling power of these different machines.
Mm-hmm.
I would like a 4th range on my tractor because 15 miles an hour down the road is not very fast. So, but Evan, there was a question about you buying a seeder. I guess you were looking for a seeder, and did you find what you're looking for?
Yeah, I mean, I looked at a seeder. I looked at ones that were out there. No, I didn't buy one. I missed the big farm auction that's near me, like that happens every January, February, beginning of February. I missed that, so I would have probably looked for like a used one there if I could have. But I'm just, you don't see seeders, too many seeders out there that are small for sale. You about have to travel probably to go find one.
What happened to the Casco, Evan?
Oh, that's a borrowed deal. They let me borrow that. It's a used one. I talked to them. I did talk to Casco again, and they said that I could pretty much borrow anything I wanted. So I've got the ability to go get one from them. They're over just like southeast of Indianapolis, so I can just drive over there and get one if I really needed it. And it's like free advertising for them. It's kind of a mutual deal. But I'm still looking.
Evan, could you tell us a little more about what type of seeder you think is best? So in other words, what I see is a lot of seeders, they just drop the seed on top of the ground and then they have the cultipacker behind. And that's really all you get. You're putting the seed kind of on top of the ground, just a little bit of seed to soil contact. Is that what you're looking for? Are you
No, not really. So I mean, I've rented seeders that are similar to that. So if you have like a prepared seed bed, right? Like if you tilled up your lawn, I mean, a drop seeder like that's going to drop it and roll it in. That'll work perfectly fine for that application. But if you're like wanting to reseed a hayfield or a pasture, you really need a drill. And I think that my personal opinion, the drill that has a straight disc in front to cut the trash and then an opening disc and then dropping that seed right in that furrow, I think that's the best style. And then
a no-till drill, basically.
Yeah, basically like a no-till drill. Of course, the more expensive ones are going to have a press wheel, like it's right behind the furrow to close it. And then the least expensive ones are going to have more of a packing roller behind it to try to close up those furrows. But I think that's for established fields, I think that a drill is going to be your best thing. Over like just throwing grass seed on top is throwing away money most of the time.
I have a wood super seeder, the little 4-foot super seeder meant specifically for subcompact tractors. And I just don't feel like I get a good stand. I feel like it is just wasting money. And the only way I feel like I can get a stand is to harrow it afterwards and then maybe roll it in again or something. But I find that I have a Ventrac seeder that has that aerator that shakes and pokes holes. Well, I'll find that next spring after a frozen winter like this, only the spots where the holes were poked and the grass was planted deeper make it through the winter. I'm just not very thrilled with surface level seeders.
Yeah, I've rented a woods a few times, and I don't know if I felt like I got much from that. So I know what you mean.
Good info. CJ, folks are asking about that beautiful tractor behind you. Can you tell us a little bit about that thing before we're going to do a sticker giveaway in just a moment? But tell us about
this was my Uncle Mike's tractor. He he redid this whole tractor, and this is a 1957 Ford 850. And when he passed away, I bought it off my aunt so it could stay in the family.
Is it restored?
Yeah, my uncle Mike restored it. Yeah,
He restored it.
yeah.
Well, it looks great. Do you actually use it?
Oh yeah. We used it doing hay this year. It pulled the hay rake for me.
Nice. That's pretty fun.
That's a nice tractor.
It means a lot.
Yeah. It's nice that it has that history for you too. Like it's a cool tractor, but it's even cooler that it has that history for you.
Yep.
Can I ask a quick question, CJ? How's he like his drum mower?
I love that thing. I wish I had more horsepower so I could go faster with it. If I was on flat ground, I could fly, but whenever I go up my hill, I got to really slow down. Especially on that first cut, I was just creeping on that first cut this year. But yeah,
What size drum you got, CJ?
It was the DDR 165. I think it's 5.5. Yeah. I got the smallest one that they had. But
I'm looking now. I'm not sure what I'll go with, but probably a Tar River drum mower would be what I'll end up getting.
yeah, I got it from that dealer not too far away from you.
Yeah, Tractor Shop. Yeah,
Tractor Shop.
South
Yeah.
Webster, Ohio.
Yep.
Well, fellas, I'm going to do a sticker giveaway right now. And for the folks who may be new to the live stream, this is how we do it. I'm going to share the word on the screen and in the live chat on Facebook and YouTube. I don't know if this is going to work if you're watching from someone else's channel, so that could be kind of interesting. I think it may pull the comment, but basically I'm going to share a word or a phrase on the screen, and you're playing for one of my stickers. I also have this fun little sticker that I made up, so I'll be giving these away. Anybody can enter to win, and some of these fine folks on screen with me might also include something from their channel as well. No pressure, guys.
Yep. Go ahead. You got one of mine, don't you, Ed?
I do.
Yep.
One right there. So here's the thing. In the live chat, type the word #show. Make it real easy. #show, and then we will randomly pick a winner at the end of this song. This guy. So we'll watch the entries come in. You'll have about a minute to enter. And what we'll do, the winner, I will forward your message, your address to these guys if they want to send you anything from their end. If that sounds good. But CJ, I can't give this away. This is mine. You got to.
No, I just don't have any out here with me. I wanted you to show it.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, CJ will send you one from his channel.
Yep.
And we have a good group of people watching today, and I really want to thank you for being here, whether you're watching from my channel or one of these other channels. It's a good time, and we do this. I do this generally weekly. It's been it's been quite a few weeks, but in general, I like to go live every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and sometimes I'll have an interesting guest. Sometimes it'll be just me, and we'll chat through the comments. But it's a good time. It's fun to stay connected. And at one point or another, most of these guys have been a guest or have been on the live stream in the past. So it's a good time. All right, we're going to hit this draw button here in just a moment.
Did you pick this music, Ed?
I did. Yes, I did. You like it?
It's kind of, yeah, like it.
Are you serious, Clark? Or are you just... It's kind of fun, right?
It's kind of got a 1930s feel.
Yeah.
It's not bluegrass, but it'll do.
Crumb Farms. Congratulations. Do any of you guys know who that is? I think that's a new viewer for us.
I don't know.
All right.
They
Well,
got cattle on the picture, so they got to be.
yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, Crumb Farms. Here's the next step that we need to do to make this work. You need to send me an email at contactmcgtv@gmail.com. Send me your name and your mailing address, and I will put some of these stickers in the mail to you. I will also forward your email to these other guys, and if they want to, they will send something to you as well. So, Crumb Farms, send me an email, contact mcgtv@gmail.com, and we'll get these out to you. Congratulations.
Yeah, if you don't mind, Crumb Farms, leave a comment here as to how you found us.
That's right.
Which one or ones of us you were following?
That's right. Who brought you here tonight? So, all right. Hey, well, fellas, we're going to about wrap up. We like to do this for just about an hour, and I just want to thank you all for joining me tonight. Any last words, last thoughts from our panel this evening as we wrap up?
I just want to say it's always great to get with you guys and get to hang out. It's a great time.
I was just going to say it's nice meeting you, Ed, in person for the first time. And next time I'm going to meet you, Tim. I'm going to interrupt you if you're talking to somebody.
Yeah,
So
we
close.
got to make that happen. We're going to have to plan for it next time.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, it's good to talk to everybody. And also, I appreciate all of you guys appearing in my video. That turned out pretty cool. And I look forward to seeing the new tractor Tim gets here pretty soon.
that was a great topic, Lucas, by the way, to do that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed that. And I thought later, another thing I hate about my tractor, the seat is very uncomfortable.
Lucas, is your video out? I haven't seen it yet. Is your video out?
It is, yeah.
Okay, good.
Great. All right. Well, again, thank you, fellas. I appreciate it. I hope you have a great week. I hope that you enjoyed yourself. So we're going to wrap things up here. Thanks again for being here tonight. Thank you to the panel for joining me tonight. And I appreciate you being here. And as always, I look forward to seeing you next time.